Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything at all. If there's anything you need me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Now, we start with the Princess of Swords. Interesting. Right away, we're getting the appearance of someone that might be pushing some of your buttons, right? Let's put that into some context. Let's see what's going on there. It could be somebody kind of instigating things. You're trying to kind of not be bothered by it, but at the same time, at the same time, you either have to this Art or Temperance card. It's kind of silly because there's fire and there's water. There's fire, there's water in this card. It's almost like you're only giving yourself two options. You either accept it as being something miserable, or you kind of bite their head off. You know what I mean? Or we really use force and power, and we make this we yell at them, right? We either have to be very stern and very strict and very decisive, or we're going to just kind of get steamrolled by this thing, and it's just going to be a disaster. It's going to be a rotten situation, right? It kind of feels like that's our only two options with this person, but let's keep going. There's the Star card. There's the Nine of Cups. There's the Chariot card, and there's the Eight of Swords. With all this good energy over here, and then we end with this overthinking kind of thing, right? Let's select the mystery card before we get into too much else here. And this is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. Happy little Bob. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, right? And it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end. If at any point during the reading you feel like you might know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. All right, let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. I think it'll be fun. All right, let's take a look around the room one more time. We've got major, 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 major. Interesting with these majors, right? I kind of feel like we're feeling kind of impulsive. We want to deal with these people, this person, this situation. Now, it might not be a particular person, but it kind of feels like it. We want to deal with them in one of two ways, right? It's either we either use fire or water, but either way, that's like we feel this impulse to deal with that. But over here on the path of the Serpent, we've got the Star and the Chariot. It's almost as if Spirit's showing you a different way for you to move forward in this situation. But we're overthinking still. We have obviously some fire energy. We've got our water energy. We have the air here, but we don't have any earth, right? So I feel like we don't quite know what to do in this situation. So let's just go through the cards and see what we can come up with, okay? This is the Princess of Swords. I think there's going to be somebody close to you, maybe a family member, younger sibling. Candles bubbling. There's going to be someone that really is going to push your buttons. If they aren't already, I think they will be in the next probably few days, maybe a week or two. And this is someone that I think you really care about. I think this is someone that's important to you. Family member. Could be your significant other. Could be a close friend, family member, something like that. I feel a closeness in the relationship. I don't feel like it's a work thing. I feel like it's more of an intimate kind of relationship, right? Someone close. And I feel like they are testing you, pushing your buttons, but I almost feel like sometimes we need that, right? I wonder if this person is doing that just to be annoying, right? Or if, maybe even in an unconscious way, if Spirit is using this, here's that star card. If Spirit is using this situation to reveal something about yourself, okay? And it could be something with the Princess of Swords, too. It could be something that we're kind of resistant toward. It could be that we're being a little defensive here. And maybe it's because that this person is kind of onto something, right? That there's something that we need to admit in our lives, something that we need to look at within ourselves, something that might be, well, maybe preventing us from really doing this over here. We don't want that, obviously, but if we had the Star, the Nine of Cups, and the Chariot, well, this is really good. I almost feel like there's something in you that looks at life as just this kind of duality, this dichotomy here of it's either this intense fiery energy or this miserable water energy, two extremes, right? It's either sadness and sorrow or it's fighting, but either way, it's the extreme of this emotion, right? Where what we really need, Four of Swords down below, is peace, is quiet, is some sort of reconciliation, almost like we just need compassion and friendship and acceptance with the Four, right? We need a support system. We need people that are there for us. I think we all need that. Because it seems like our impulse, and maybe this is because of the way we've always kind of lived our lives, if you don't fight for what you want, you're going to get nothing. You're going to get the scraps. It's going to be miserable, right? And to avoid the sorrow of the Seven of Cups, we've got to fight. So everything feels like a fight. Yeah. Let's talk about the devil energy in the past here. Now I'm thinking maybe this is a business thing. Maybe this is something happening at work, right? There's no earth energy. So to me, the focus really isn't on the behavior. It's not on the physical situation. It's on the more the emotional side of things. The feeling that this thing is drawing out of us, right? And if this is, for some of you, it is a work thing. And I feel like there's somebody at work that's kind of pushing those buttons. And we feel like we've got to deal quickly with them before they make our lives miserable, right? So it's not really, and maybe that's true. Maybe there is something going on with a person and they're trying to kind of ruin things for you, right? So you've got to deal with that in a very rational, responsible, productive way. But we've got to look at what that pulls out of us, right? Those things that push our buttons, those people that push our buttons, those certain elements of the environment that can kind of throw us into a rage, right? When we're not careful. Yeah. And so we ask ourselves, perhaps, why does that bother me so much? Why does what that person do bother me the way it does? Okay. Now, I'm not saying, because see, the physical part, the earth energy is not here. Whatever needs to be done in that situation, do the responsible thing. Take care of yourself, protect yourself. Do the safe and responsible thing. But on the internal part of it, what's really going on here, right? I feel like maybe you have a lot of ambition in this career, in this life, feel like you've committed to something. Now, this could be your career. This could be anything else, a relationship. It could be an artistic thing. With the devil energy, it really is, you found a mountain to climb, and you're climbing it. But now we've got this energy coming in, and we're feeling defensive over the decisions that we made. It's like you've got this big ambition, but I almost feel that we're a little insecure about it. Yeah. Because something as insignificant as a Princess of Swords is coming in and really, I think, really making us kind of angry. And so it makes me wonder, why do we react the way we do? Why does it make us feel the way it does? That this person doesn't agree with what we're doing, doesn't like what we're doing, or, has some rather insignificant opinion about what we're doing. Why does that anger us so much? Right? Except perhaps if there's a little bit of insecurity, and maybe that's what we get here with the 8 of Swords at the end. Okay. So the Art or Temperance card is sometimes looking at things like there's only 2 options. Either I'm completely ruined by this person, or I have to completely ruin them, right? And it's this kind of 2 of Wands kind of thing. It's just it's either me or them, But I think we need to find the third option. We need to find something that can transcend either or. Either I destroy them or they destroy me, right? Because this is not going to this is not going to lead us to anything very productive. Okay, it's very black and white thinking, and this is kind of this is us not willing to hear the opinions of this person. Now, maybe this is a work thing, and maybe they've got a certain they've got something to say about the way you're doing this thing, the way you're working on this project or designing this thing, or the way you're doing the paperwork, or I don't know. Maybe they don't really mean any harm. Maybe they're just trying to say, hey, is there a more efficient way of doing this? Can I offer you my opinion? And we're saying no, because we feel that's a threat, So we think, well, I've got to stop this before I'm completely ruined, before they completely, destroy me. And this is the black and white thinking that we are trying to get out of. And the Art or Temperance card really does try to find the transcendent union of these opposites. Yeah, maybe they have a little bit of an ulterior motive. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's that black and white. They're not just out to destroy you. Therefore, you don't have to destroy them. Yeah, they might want to see you fail, right? That could be, and so what? But they also might have something sort of significant to say. Okay, there's more than one truth here. There's yours and there's theirs, but there's also something else, right? There's also, and it's all in this Art or Temperance card. It's a blending. We don't have all of the data if we only believe in what we believe. We have to be able to take in the information coming from a person like this. If this is, an employee, a coworker, a family member, friend, your spouse, whatever. We have to be able to take that data in and use it as part of our, data set in order to determine our action and to move forward without kind of just reacting in anger, without just being overtaken by emotion. Either one of these is emotion, right? Whereas what we need is this calm, kind of rational mind, right? And this is a mind that is like, it's the 4 of Swords is called truce, right? It says, we may not be friends, right? You may really want to destroy each other ultimately. One of you have got to win, I guess. But for the time being, we'll put aside those issues, and I will listen to what you have to say. This is the 4 of Swords. It says, I will be here. I will keep my mouth shut. I'll listen. Doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you. It doesn't mean that I'm going to, follow your advice in any way. It doesn't mean that I'm not ultimately going to, overtake this situation and win, whatever, I kind of feel there's a little bit of competition here. But it means I'll at least listen. Yeah. And I'll try not to let my emotions get in the way of what someone's telling me. Even if I don't like them, even if I don't like what they're telling me. Okay? And that, I think, is the message that the star is trying to give you. It's saying, hey, look at this situation as a benefit, as a positive situation. We're looking at it very emotionally. Okay? And yeah, it's really hard not to do that. But the star is here to say, let's look at this like it is a bit of a window into ourselves, into what we are doing. I don't think it should hurt to get a different perspective, to get somebody else's opinion, right? But we can't let that make us insecure, make us doubt ourselves, put us in this kind of overly emotional state. It's very hard to hear criticism. It's very hard to hear someone say, hey, you're not doing that right. There's a better way. Because people aren't always very gentle with the way they say things, right? So nobody's perfect, and it's not black and white like that. It's not, we can't expect everybody to say things in a certain way because that's how we like to hear it, What we can do is try to fortify ourselves and understand the purpose of this. We don't have to like the way they're talking to us. And we can tell them, surely we can, hey, be more respectful when you communicate with me. And you're being respectful with them, and, that's something that we can do. But the real point is to try to take in the message that they're giving you, even if it's coming out with a lot of words you don't like, with a tone of voice you don't like. Let's get over that, because that's still in this emotional thinking kind of area. Yeah. And the star is trying to show us the deeper message in all of this, right? This seems like, I didn't want to do a reading like this today. I doubt anyone's even going to watch this reading. But I think it's important. For those of you that do watch it, I think this is something good for all of us to kind of know. I think it's something that we should be focusing on. And it's all a gray area, right? It's very nuanced. We don't have to like the way people are talking to us. We can ask them and kind of demand and we can expect a certain level of respect and professionalism. But ultimately, that's not really the point. That's not what is really important here. What's important is that we get all of the information that we can about ourselves, about what we're doing and who we are, because ultimately, that other person is a projection of your consciousness. The way you're experiencing them is not how they are intrinsically. It's how we are seeing them in our minds, how we're feeling them, right? And that's the picture that we have to be aware of, and how we kind of have to investigate that, right? And that really, that's a lot of this star card. Seeing things for what they are, and what they are within us. We can't really know anything objectively, right? All the people that we interact with, they are representations in our mind of an energy that's outside of us, that we can never really truly know. So whatever we perceive, it's us creating that in a way, right? So let's focus on creating love, happiness, abundance, the 9 of Cups here. Yeah. We've got physical satisfaction, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative, psychic, fulfillment and satisfaction. This is the kind of life we want. If we think, we experience the world as kind of miserable, kind of nasty. That's a representation in our own mind. Okay? Doesn't mean that people are not being mean and cruel. It's not to... We can hold both views in mind at the same time. That's another lesson of the art or temperance card. It doesn't have to be, oh, everything else is fine, I'm the problem, right? My perception is wrong. I'm creating all this misery in my life. But neither can we blame the outside world. Think, well, everybody's treating me like crap, and I feel like crap now. Pardon my language. It's more nuanced than that. But what we can do is try to learn as much about ourselves as we can and try to figure out how we can experience the world with more positivity, even when we feel like a lot of what we're receiving is negativity. Maybe we need to just ignore some of that negativity. If we can't change it, we have to accept it, right? So that we could focus on how to create more of the positive stuff. More satisfaction, more fulfillment. And to do that, we have to sometimes have a thick skin. Here's the Chariot card. Sometimes we have to ignore the negative stuff. We have to either get the heck out of that situation, right? If we've expressed ourselves and the behavior isn't changing, we have to do something else. We either fortify ourselves against it to where we can ignore it, doesn't bother us, or we get out of there. Okay, you don't have to put up with negativity in your life. There are some things we can change, there are some things we can't. And if we can't, we definitely can't change other people's behaviors. We could change the way we perceive people. We could change the images that we build up inside of ourselves of the world around us. Let's focus on building up a positive image of the world around us rather than a negative one. However that needs to be done. Yeah. Through the control of our own responses, through making decisions in our life that are going to lead us closer to the 9 of Cups and further away from the 7 of Cups. Accepting the things that we can change. Sometimes life is the 7 of Cups, right? We've got to have the confidence that it's not going to affect us so deeply that it changes our experience of life. You know, fundamentally. And then, of course, the Eight of Swords at the end. This is kind of a card that's asking why? Why? Why is life like this? Why are they acting that way? You know, it's us trying to figure out the external world. We're not going to be able to do that. It's a futile endeavor. It's a tangle of wires. You're going to get stuck in this tangle, in this snare. It's almost like we've got to figure out why the world is the way it is so that we can understand how to navigate it, right? And to a degree, yeah, that's true, I think. But too much of that, and it adds to our misery. We're not improving anything because we'll never be satisfied with figuring things out. Or when we think we know someone, then they do something completely unexpected. You know, or when we think we're doing all the right stuff, and then some energy comes in and challenges that, right, and knocks us back into a depression, into a 7 of Cups, or worse. We can't be so porous that every negative thing coming into our lives affects us so fundamentally. Now, I'm not advocating like a callousness or an apathy, but a fortification. Let's have a little bit of control. We want control. We've got the 2 of Wands up here. We want to control. We want to win, right? So the only thing we really can control is our own response to the world, what we let in and what we don't let in. So let's let in the positive stuff, and let's either change, get away from, or ignore the negative stuff. It all depends on what kind of life you want, you know. Let's look at the mystery card now. This one, I don't like this reading, I'll tell you that. But maybe I won't even release this reading. I don't know. We should figure out the mystery card anyway. Maybe it'll be some earth energy. Maybe it'll be an emperor card, right? Because the emperor kind of is fortified. The emperor has to take a lot of flack, right? A lot of BS, a lot of negativity. The approval rating, right, for emperors, really low, always. Has to be okay with that. You know, you can't please all the people all the time. We can't be deeply affected by everything that comes in to our sphere of awareness. So maybe we need the emperor. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Oh, the moon. The moon. Interesting. It's your power card. Right? This is your power card. This is, I think, confidence. This hopefully will tell you that you can do this, that you can trust in yourself in this way. That we don't know what's out there. We can never know what the next instant of our life will be like. But we're ready for it. You can handle it. You can focus on having a happy, positive, follow your bliss kind of life. Right? You can do that. Even without knowing exactly what the next moment will bring. Whatever it will bring, it's not going to fundamentally change my experience of life. It will add to it. It'll be new data that I have to consider, right? But it's not going to just squish me down into a depression. There's some confidence here. And I think it's the confidence to overcome that Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is, I want certainty. I want to know. We can never know. And the Moon card here says we have to be okay with not knowing. And we have to move forward into life anyway, even with that uncertainty. The only thing certain is ourselves. And at least it should be, right? So we need a very strong sense of self. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, click on the link that's either above or below in the video description. I'm here every day from 6 to 8 a.m. Chicago time. Come back and see me again tomorrow. Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free, doesn't cost you anything. And leave me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you're feeling. Give a shout out where you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.